Say spread the happiness, everyone, because it's time for the Old SwitchAroo, where we're talking gaming retro with Mike and Jaymo.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jaymo. Join us on our epic quest to research and review all 300 plus games in the Nintendo Classics catalog. Today we are scrubbing and scrounging our way through our show's very first GameCube game, Chibi-Robo Plug-Into Adventure, in an episode we are calling What It's Like to Be Mr. Butlertron, a Rope of Sand. Don't forget to, if you like what you hear, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course play along. Principal Lunsworth, what do you think of my title?
I appreciate that our titles are already too long, and then you've borrowed an also already too long title.
From what?
Clone High.
Yeah. I was like, he's either not going to remember or this is going to be his favorite. So, Mike, we can't run an institution into the ground without a shadowy figure looming over us. Do you have anyone in mind?
Yes, so podcast that I was on last year, Super Wall Jump, we have Lawson, who did a very good job of better researching our show than I think I did going on. Glad to have him here for this.
Hello, yes, I am here. It's nice, it's good to be here, and I can't wait to talk about Chibi-Robo and about this tiny, adorable little robot.
Before we do that, do you want to explain a little bit about sort of what your goal is with Super
Wall Jump is my podcast where I interview content creators and video game consumers and everything in between about video games. I've had, obviously, Mike on, and we talked about game design over time with Nintendo. I've had people come on and talk about their thesis about GTA Online role-playing communities and what that means, like, for society broadly in terms of people seeking out third spaces online. And overall, I just try and talk about the intersection of video games and digital culture and have a good time doing it.
That's dope.
A couple developers as well.
Oh, yeah, a couple more developers. By the time that you're listening to this, listener, I will have at least have had 3 different developers on to talk about their games and their process in making their games. So if you're interested in how video games are made, it's also a good listen for that. Video games are hard to make, by the way.
I've listened to your interviews with a variety of mics, a plethora almost of mics. And you don't cast like a newbie. Like, this is a relatively new show, but what's your content creation experience prior to starting Super Wall Jump?
I'm unfortunately an actor. In college, I was going for engineering, and then 2 years into engineering, I'm like, wow, if I have to design a lamp and that's just my job for the rest of my life, I am going to kill myself. So I changed majors entirely. I went into telecommunications production, which is film. And so I'm a sound mixer, and I'm also an actor. And last year I was in my feature film debut in a movie called Night Shift, produced by Puppet Combo, which if you play retro indie horror games, you might recognize the name, and maybe you've seen me in that movie. But yeah, I have the training, and also at a certain point you learn how to do editing, and it kills you inside, but you get used to it.
It's killed Mike inside. He does our editing.
I was already dead inside, so it wasn't as much of a problem.
Okay, good. No damage done then. All right. Well, guys, without further ado, I think there's an estranged family in need of some chibi therapy. Are you guys ready to make people happy, happy, happy?
Woo! We definitely won't make it any worse.
Okay, let's dive into Chibi-Robo Plug-Into Adventure, released on the GameCube in 2006. As described on Nintendo Switch Online / Nintendo Classics, the little robot who wants to bring happiness to all. Chibi-Robo is a 4-inch tall robot who's arrived at the Sanderson house with the goal of helping the family get the most out of life and find happiness. I'm sorry, I'm laughing with what Lawson said about how you're going to cause all these problems. This description is kind of dark. If you know, you know. Day or night, he'll help however he can, whether that's by cleaning or looking for lost items. In this chibi action adventure title, originally released for the Nintendo GameCube system in 2006, he'll aim for the top of the chibi rankings by gathering happy points and moolah, aka money. It's rumored that Chibi-Robo will become Super Chibi-Robo if he reaches the top of the rankings, but between a daughter who only speaks in the language of frogs and toys that come alive when humans aren't around, Chibi-Robo has his work cut out for him in the mystery-packed Sanderson house. It just reminds me of like wacky anime, in a really good way. What was that one? It's like Fooly Cooly, and it like had people like weird horns growing out of people's. You know what I'm talking about, Lawson?
I've seen Furikuri, and I also know it's a very fun anime, and I love that it was only 4 episodes and they never made any other seasons. That's the best part. It's short, sweet, and they never made more of it, so that way it gets to stay good forever.
Well, I think short and sweet, perfect segue into the box art description. We are looking at the North American box art here. You have the titular Chibi-Robo hefting his little plug up onto his head to carry it, and he's for scale in the background, some kind of tea set. Mike, what's your take on the box art for Chibi-Robo?
It's odd because this does look almost like this was just straight up they made this as like a model.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I kind of want something more, but I can't really specify what more because what more can you really put on there? Because you're the robot running around.
I agree with you. It seems a little simple because I think such a draw of this game is the weird side characters. So it's like kind of a miss to not get that. But Lawson, have you seen the Japanese box art?
I have not seen the Japanese box art. I got this game as a kid in North America, so
So brace yourself. Check this
oh,
out. Lawson, will you tell our listeners who can't see the difference between North America and Japan?
so in the American version, he is holding the plug above his head, and the logo and plug into adventure is also above it. In the Japanese version, his plug tail is on the ground, and he's holding a worryingly photorealistic scrap of paper, and the like title of the game is underneath, along with another version of him holding the plug, like by the title. But I do think it's hard. This is more what the game was about, but I feel like they should have had a different kind of trash because if you look in the background, you can see there's another scrap of paper. And so it looks like you're only picking up scraps of paper instead of like doing anything else. And it's a bit more than picking up scraps of paper.
Am I crazy though? And there's some level of like kind of cultural touchstone for each one where it's like American and we're carrying our own plug and Japanese, like he's serving, right? And because I feel like that's something that's appreciated more outside of this country is like the sort of servant mentality. I don't know. Am I way off base here? Is that a weird thing to say?
I mean, it is a little bit like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. There is a little bit of that in the North American image, but
Okay. Carrying your own plug.
I think they just try to keep it simple for American audiences. Like, yes, he has a tail that's also a plug, and that's important. But also, you're tying it into plug into adventure, and I can't read Japanese, so I don't know if the Japanese one also says plug into adventure.
Oh, good question. Yeah, I don't think
I
it
don't
does.
think it does. I think it just says Chibi-Robo. So the plug is not nearly as front and center because they're not censoring on the plug.
I do like that at least for the English. I don't know if it works on the Japanese. That the dots of the eyes are little outlets.
Yeah.
Like it's used on the Japanese as well, but I don't know if that's actually meaningful.
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
Listener, we should point out that not only are there dots on like the Japanese one, but these dots are the 2-prong outlet, not the 3-prong. There are no 3-prong outlets in the entire game. It's 2-prong only.
Because this movie isn't grounded in reality.
That's an electricity joke. I got that one. Well, so this game was directed by Kenichi Nishi. We will meet him again when we cover the sexy sci-fi swashbuckler Psycho Dream for the SNES. Lawson, know this one?
I have no idea, but that image is terrifying to me.
Don't describe it.
Okay, I was about to describe it, and I won't.
It's an alien shaped, like something. Moving on.
Oh,
But I didn't do this.
I thought it was a weird dragon that was also kind of a bat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look up
Yeah.
Psycho Dream. Well, Psycho Dream, Chibi-Robo was originally developed as a point-and-click title in which the player would not control the titular character directly, but instead instruct him to perform various tasks to defend the home of his inventor against a pair of French stereotypes trying to burglarize the house at night. However, when the original publisher Bandai lost interest in the project, it was trapped in development limbo for several years until famed Nintendo director Shigeru Miyamoto was shown the project by a friend. Nintendo acquired the publishing rights and retooled the game as a puzzle platformer, but two Bandai brands remain in the game. You guys know which ones I'm talking about?
Drake Redcrest.
I wish.
Sadly, no. Sadly.
Primo Pule? How would you guys say this? I should have looked it up. Sorry. Primopuel.
Yeah, Primo Pule.
Primo Pule was an actual toy, very popular in Japan. It would say over 280 random phrases to at different points in the day. So it would like say good morning to you and say good night and say it's bored when it hasn't been like interacted with. And it was a really big hit in Japan. So you can find one of these actually in the game, brand name and all. And my personal favorite, the fully functioning Tamagotchi. Do you remember this, Lawson?
Honestly, I don't think I ever came across the Tamagotchi. Like, ever.
You can't get it until you beat the game and go back. Because there's an event that happens that unveils it, and so then you can give it to the Sanderson husband or Sanderson dad, I guess you'd say. And when he's not playing with it, you can climb up onto the table and you can actually play the Tamagotchi. You can decide to pet it or scold it or like turn off. Did you guys have Tamagotchis?
I did not. I had Pokemon, but I think that I just missed the Tamagotchi wave. Or my parents, when I said Tamagotchi, their brains just sort of smoothed over and they were like, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I might have had knockoff Tamagotchi.
Yeah. Mine had like a crazy active bowel system. Like it was like embarrassing. Like classmates would ask why my Tamagotchi was pooping so much. I'm sorry. That's too personal. So, speaking of the kind of toy market here, Chibi-Robo would go on to have 4 sequels, the last of which is the infamously mid grappling hook 2D platformer Chibi-Robo Ziplash for the 3DS. Amusingly, though, in November of 2018, Nintendo tweeted a contextless image of Chibi-Robo bursting into flames. But when a surprise Nintendo Direct happened the next day with no Chibi-Robo content, this became a meme for the misplaced and desperate enthusiasm of the average Nintendo fan.
Chibi-Robo for Smash.
Right?
We don't need Goku, we need Chibi-Robo, and he needs to be to scale.
Oh my gosh.
It's 2 pixels on the screen moving around very slowly.
I think that could be so interesting, though, to see in like a tournament where everyone's playing as the 2 pixels.
That could be fun. There's a drinking game that I sometimes play called Yoshi Roulette, where you get 8 level 9 CPU Yoshis, and you bet which Yoshi's going to win.
Oh, that's fun. You bet on like the color Yoshi.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I bet 3 shots on blue Yoshi. Well, I bet like a 30-second sip on woolen Yoshi or what have you. And that, but even harder to figure out what's happening, could be fun.
That is so fun. We have to do a bonus episode where we do that and we record it and like we just talk, that'd be fun. We'll cast the AI battle.
You just got to do the announcer thing of, and now the green Yoshi's going to do a backflip. Oh, and he's spiking off the edge.
The people's elbow.
Oh!
My God, that's Yoshi's music.
What? Oh, like the wrestler intro? That's funny. So before we get into the Joy Pros and Joy Cons, what's our history with this game and how far did we get? Lawson, can we throw it to you?
I played this game as a kid. I did not beat the game as a child. And then, as an adult, I streamed the game last year on my Twitch channel. Let me tell you, I am not surprised Child Lawson did not figure this game out. Because adult Lawson could not figure this game out. I had to look up a guide from 2004 and be like, you want me to do what? In what order? Huh? And I did beat the game. But I do not think that 10-year-old Lawson could have figured it out.
Okay, but you, Nintendo, did.
Nintendo!
Yes. Adult me was able to use the power of the internet to look at things other than Pokemon and found it was really good. It had the old like ASCII art where they just make a bunch of cool images with like hashtags and number signs. It was great. But yeah, I did finally beat the game and I'm like, huh.
That's awesome. Mike, your experience with Chibi-Robo. First time, I believe.
Yeah, because I had never heard of this.
Okay.
And so, and really, especially with like, I really didn't play the GameCube. So that whole era is quasi dark to me.
Right. Okay. Okay.
This required me getting the Switch 2 and getting that set up and working and everything.
Yes.
So that didn't happen until like 36 hours ago.
Okay. So fresh. So this was your first Switch 2 title.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Your first Switch 2 game was a game from 2006. Bravo.
That's like some hipster award like achievement.
I mean, I feel like my first Switch game was quite possibly Pokemon Snap or something. So
a bigger gap. Yeah. So you were scooting along though. I noticed you made good progress. How far'd you get?
yeah, well, I decided it's like I can probably get in like 2 hours to get a good sense of this. And then 4.5 hours later, it was like, I really need to stop doing this. I think I just have this one thing to do to get to a new thing. So I stopped at 4.5 hours. And
Okay.
I think I was making decent progress.
Yeah.
I'm something in the, like with the happiness ranking that scales in a very stupid way. I wouldn't say I was probably around 1200 happiness,
Okay.
which I think it was 80 on the ranking because it does this weird thing where you have happiness points and it lets you know what your ranking is compared to all the other Chibi-Robos out there.
Yeah.
And you start off at 100,000.
100,000. Okay.
And like it drops very, very fast. Like you really shoot up those rankings in a way that almost didn't feel satisfying.
Okay. Okay.
Because it was like it was so much of a jump where I'm just like, oh, is this just like no one else is trying? So I'm moving up the rankings very fast.
I think not to defend like such an arbitrary thing, but I think that is a bit of a tension build because as the game goes on, your jump in the ranking gets lower and lower, and you're like, oh, like I'm climbing the mountain, as it were, of the Chibi rankings, and so it's an achievement with every last point you get. So I do think, I don't know, Lawson, are you with me? That's kind of a storytelling technique.
A little bit, yeah. You're getting the thing is when you're climbing real life leaderboards, being able to get to the like top percentile is going to be harder and harder and harder. Like, think about how good the average person is at chess. Bad. So to be in the top 50% of chess players, you don't have to be very good. You just have to know how the pieces move.
There's a difference between I'm kind of all right and like I can move a pawn. Congratulations, you moved up 100,000.
Exactly.
Like like I definitely agree. Like it's going to get your movement up. It is going to get less as you get towards the top. It was just felt a bit too abrupt.
Yeah, it changed dramatically. I just looked up how long it took me to beat Chibi-Robo, and
Yes.
looking at it, it took me about 12 hours.
Okay, so I beat it. Oh, sorry. So Mike, you did not beat this game, but you've made a decent bite out of it.
Yeah, I think some solid progress.
Well, I have been playing this game ever since Lawson joined our Discord, and by the way, everyone, you should too. You washed onto our shores, Lawson, 2 days after
did.
Chibi-Robo was announced, and we're like, "Hey, Lawson, what's your favorite game?" Chibi-Robo, and it's like, "What the? How serendipitous is that? That was amazing."
So if this is a Castaway situation, am I Tom Hanks or am I Wilson?
I mean, you're giving Wilson vibes, but I think that's a compliment. Like Wilson.
I need to get some more sun.
So I've been playing it ever since he recommended it, and this game made me like Majora's Mask less because I had to stop playing this game to beat all of Majora's Mask. But man, I was thinking of Chibi-Robo the whole time. Guys, I really like this game.
Weirdly similar games.
Right? There's a strange through line.
And both times you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. So, with a guide, when needed, and creative use of save states, there are some random events that get a lot easier if you can save state and go back. I Nintendo did beat Chibi-Robo.
Nintendo.
You did that to figure out the spies, didn't you?
I did. He's referring to a military mini game where the little egg soldiers swap back and forth, and it gets so fast. There's no way you can keep track of it
Oh yeah.
unless you know in advance which one's wrong.
Or you keep track of it.
Okay, my eye wasn't fast enough, but my determination was enough to get to the end of this game. So, Lawson, will you lead us in a discussion of the joy pros of Chibi-Robo? What makes this game cool?
This game has so many things going on, and I say that in a very positive way.
Hmm.
For example, this game is Toy Story.
Yeah.
All the toys come to life at night. All of them have deep-seated emotional trauma. It's great. You don't know why any of them are doing any of the things that they are, and they don't quite know it either, but they know that this is what I do. I live in a shoebox. Oh, I'm an army man. I'm in the army. I'm going to fight to the death. They don't know why they're doing this. They just do. And that's great. And that also like goes across the entirety of the cast, not just the toys, because you also have the dog and the family for as long as it lasts.
Well, and with the toys, I mean, this even has like very much a Buzz Lightyear character, space ranger doing patrols, or it's just like I can't not notice this.
Well, what's interesting about that, though, is that they would not make a good Toy Story game until way after this. So it's almost like Nintendo, because when they retooled this from a point and click to this style of game, it's almost like Nintendo zeroed in on what would make a Toy Story game really fun if, it was done properly.
There was a good Toy Story game by this time.
I mean, there was a side scroller on Genesis, which was really beautiful to look at, and had a lot of gameplay variety, but I don't know if it's regarded as particularly good. I don't know, Lawson, did you ever play Toy Story on this Sega Genesis?
I never played any Toy Story games. I haven't even played Kingdom Hearts 3, which has a Toy Story section.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the nerdiest thing. I believe, and Sarah will know for sure, but I believe Toy Story 3 is the best reviewed Toy Story game so far. But this game, for me, it scratches such an itch of tidying this shared virtual space. I don't know why, but it was very Animal Crossing in the way that that game knows exactly how many times to make you press the button for scrubbing a spot on the floor to be satisfying. It's almost like you're getting that satisfaction of, okay, I mash the button, mash the button. That one was a stubborn stain. But that simple endorphin rush of tidying a space. Mike, though, I don't think you played that way because I was watching you stream with Kegris, I think is the name, and this monster was leaving spills all over the place.
Partially down in the basement, I hadn't realized that I thought those were texture
Oh, okay.
rather than spills. Partially also, yeah, especially because I did not like the having to mash the button
Really?
part. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it just made it so visceral. I don't know.
The game captures the feeling of being able to accomplish tasks really easily. Oh, hey, yeah. You do a task, you get a reward. You clean up a little footprint from a dog, you get a reward. You go and get like a stubborn crayon drawing off a wall, you get a reward. You pick up trash, you get a reward. And it's a great way to like gamify the moment to moment gameplay. So that way, if you are a child playing this game, you can just say, all right, little Timmy, go and pick up trash. And, we can build some good habits. But also, the more of the cleaning you do, it just also has a good gameplay benefit of getting you money and happiness points.
I do wonder just how this entire economy works of who the heck's paying you, both in general, like, because a whole key premise of this is the unemployed father has bought a fancy robot for an 8-year-old's birthday where the 8-year-old doesn't really seem to care about it.
Yeah.
She's won over, but doesn't really care about it. The wife is unhappy. And of course, I can't stress this enough that he apparently parties so hard he sleeps it off in the living room for the party that is him, his wife, and his 8-year-old. So
It's a weird vibe.
I do think that is a case of, okay, cool. Whenever I drink, I need to sleep on the couch or else my wife will get mad. That is how I read that, as he is sort of permanently in the doghouse forever, and so he just preemptively sleeps on the couch.
yeah, it's the whole thing is just like it. But yeah, so it's like they don't necessarily have the money, but then you do a lot of stuff that, especially before they've keyed into you doing this and you're getting paid, or it's things like you were nice to the fish, here's money, and it's like, are the fish part of this economy? Like, did the fish pay me on this?
What I'm thinking is everyone is stealing from the family.
Oh my
Just
god.
like broadly, all of the toys, all of like the animals, all of the creatures that are not quite toys or animals that are still there, all of them are just straight up stealing money from the family, so they have a ton of it lying around, and that's why they're in financial duress.
The whole house is basically a banana republic.
Basically, yeah. Oh, there's coins lying all over the place, and like the humans can't seem to find them. Yeah, because all the toys are waking up in the middle of the night. They're like, all right, cool, time to get the shiny things out of the wife's wallet, and then they're going and stashing them all over the place.
And what I do like about the way this handles, I guess, both the coins and the happiness, to at least the extent that is my grasp on the game. Maybe I'm wrong about this. So the game has a day-night cycle. Basically, each time you go between day and night, you have to go back to your base and kind of things reset. And that means there's new tasks to get happiness that will appear. That also means that a lot of spots with the coins to pick up are back. And so because there doesn't seem to be an overall ticking clock, like there's not you have to finish the game by a certain point. If you're moving slower, you kind of, it seems, can just kind of grind that up a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can certainly do things faster or more efficiently. Like one of the benefits of leveling up the happiness is because you're this little robot that has to be powered. And so you have to find outlets and recharge. You can increase your battery life. If you're good at this, I could see doing this with less battery life and not worrying about that as much. If you're going at a slower pace, you're able to kind of build that up in a way. So this game kind of really felt like there wasn't as much of a skill threshold so much as it was you could do this faster, but if you're not, things still are accumulating as you're doing stuff. There's stuff to do.
Yeah.
It should be pointed out that every action in the game costs energy. And if you run out of energy, your day ends, and then you have to start the next day or night. So you have to be mindful of, okay, cool, how much energy do I have? Do I have enough energy to do this task and then go and plug in one of the outlets?
Nothing like life.
I mean, it's a little bit like life. Do I have the energy to go to the grocery store and cook dinner and file my taxes? No. Sorry, IRS, it's not happening.
But it is funny though, like I think this game is well written. I think it's the plot is very clever and very real, and the developers said that they wanted to delve into darker subjects such as divorce and climate change and misinformation, and like there's a lot of, like kind of that a good Disney movie has jokes that only the adults will laugh at because they're just know more about the world. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like this game has that in spades. And like there are points where it was genuinely heartbreaking seeing some of them going through these struggles, particularly Jenny, when she knows her parents are considering a divorce. The animation, the way that the sprite is drawn, you just really feel for her. And it's this little girl, this little 8-year-old girl kneeling alone in a dark hallway, hearing her parents argue on the others. Like that's a moment. Are you guys with me? Like this is good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a lot that's said just or it's a joke that says a lot, is at some point when the wife made a comment of like, I should have married you. And it's just like, you are saying that to a tiny robot. This is such a sad state of your life.
Right. Yeah.
I think something important to lay out for the listener is you being purchased almost causes a divorce because the father is unemployed and buys you, and apparently you were expensive, has a crippling toy addiction, And the daughter allegedly is cursed to speak frog and only talks in ribbits. So you are coming into a household basically on the brink, because it also seems as if the husband has been unemployed for a while.
Yeah.
And has not tried to find a job. So you have no income because the mom is a stay-at-home mom. You have a daughter that is clearly going through something they need a therapist for, but they can't afford.
Yeah.
And the dad is there's stuff going on. And also their house is haunted by ghosts and aliens and toys that come alive at night and steal your wallet.
I'm intrigued to find out more with this, to the extent of if she was more verbal and now is just in ribbits.
No, I believe it was. She, like, if you get the frog suit by being nice to the frog and, like, saving the frog's like, hey, buddy, guess what? You get a frog suit. You can talk to frogs now. And then you can finally talk to the 8-year-old.
Yeah, but it's like
she talks frog language, like genuinely frog language.
Because I viewed this also as you're doing more and starting to act, or because like the initial stuff she has is just ribbits, like in the opening stuff, and later on starts getting words. So I was also wondering to what extent this is almost closer to a kid who was nonverbal.
Yeah.
Which honestly, if we throw that together with that dad, it's not the craziest thing to be like, well, there's a genetic component to autism.
Yeah. So did you see these characters, some of them being potentially like on the spectrum?
I would frame that I can definitely see someone from that perspective seeing similarities in that.
It's like a valid read, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was encouraged to learn that Jenny does show up again in the series as much older, and you can see that like she's doing okay. Because like I don't know about you guys, but like I just genuinely like felt really connected to this family in a way that I don't think game characters often do. Limiting the gameplay to just being you're in this house with these four people and you're going to be talking to them a whole lot and you're going to be seeing them in moments where they don't think they're being watched by anyone. It was very voyeuristic, but not in a creepy way, like in a vulnerable way. Well, some of them
they're written as whole people.
Yeah.
They're not just like I'm a lazy dad. You know
Right.
that he feels bad all the time.
Because he lies about his finances to his wife. He hides the receipts. That's bad.
The wife is like, hey, I love my kid. I love my husband. But also, I'm at the end of my rope. We are having significant money troubles. Where are we going to cut costs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I do really like within the same conversation, you'll have her both be like, my husband's a total mess. And also be like, oh, yeah, she's drawing. I can't draw. She must get that from her husband, which is this level of like, yeah, there's things in there that I liked, but I can't deal with this, which I appreciate. Although a related point on those conversations, I don't understand how to interact with some of those conversations because Chibi-Robo, somewhat as a key point, does not talk.
Right. Nonverbal.
You have a sidekick, Television, who will
a lot.
He talks so much.
Unless bailing, and will frequently like facilitate the conversations, but you have these sort of one-on-one conversations and then you'll get like a yes or no prompt, and sometimes it's like, hey, do you like the house? And there's like a yes or no, and like you don't really know what gets said, but it's like, oh, I can tell flattery. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. But other times I don't understand how yes or no is a response to that. And I'm like, am I supposed to be what do those mean? Because that wasn't a question.
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing where it was like, hey, what do you think about this? It's other things. I'm like, I don't know what yes and no mean now.
Right. And that is your only two responses to everything. But a lot of cutscenes, it doesn't change a thing. You'll say no, and they'll be like, don't be crazy. That's clearly on fire. Chibi-Robo, do you see the fire? No, don't be crazy. It's clearly on fire. Like it'll just loop you. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's like talking to certain people sometimes, though, because I don't know about you guys. I oftentimes get into conversations with strangers or just people while I'm working who just go on and on and on, and you got to hit him with a or man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I think that's just what like the yeses and nos are. They're just and man, that's crazy.
I give me just a man that's crazy as an option and no other option, then I'm cool with it. But it's this thing where I'm like, I feel like there's a right or wrong answer, and I don't understand what that right or wrong answer is. And like, if I wanted that situation, I would talk with people for real.
I mean, I think Chibi-Robo just doesn't care. He's like, man, I'm here to clean up messes, and by the end of the game, you are solving the energy crisis by talking to aliens.
But along the way, the gameplay variety is really interesting. So, Mike, I kind of feel like I'm getting the vibe that if Lawson and I can avoid spoilers, we maybe should, because I feel like you're going to play more of this.
I feel like I'm going to play more of this. Yes.
Okay.
I accept the risk of stuff has to get talked about.
Well, I mean, I will just say that I think that there are some really strong emotional beats for the player in this game. Like Lawson was talking about, like you get the frog costume and now you understand the little girl, but like it's a very tender moment because you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm the only one who this this seemed like a child with special needs of some kind, and I'm connecting with her and I'm understanding her, and like that is a feeling I've never gotten from a game. It felt very human, and it's like this game is so weird. How is it hitting so well?
I think the big thing is the game makes you work for those emotional beats. You
Yes.
can't just talk to the 8-year-old and be like, why are you only talking in ribbits? Are you like okay? You have to put in the work. And then eventually you're like, oh no, she's just having trouble communicating because of what I think is a literal curse.
Yeah. Oh, you
Toys
think
toys come to life in this house.
that's not magic though? That's science. We should watch it. We're gonna spoil something about the ending.
So sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
There you
Okay.
go.
That is not the first time that that's been said on this show.
Yes,
Um,
the Thor thing.
but yeah, I think there's also just an element of like it throws enough weird curveballs that certainly like when I started going through this and knew nothing about this, and just be like, well, this has gotten some new directions I didn't really expect. And when I decided to like do kind of see what else there is, not really knowing how far I was through it, I decided to watch not quite a speed run. It was a one versus one bingo
Oh,
of
oh,
this,
what?
where two people play this and they have a bingo card of events and or like achievements and stuff. And it's whoever can get 13 of them.
Hmm.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
like, the center space is divorce.
So you have to get the plot going.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
When they're like, yeah, so you'll see that in like 45 minutes.
Wow, that I love creative speedruns.
I mean, it's not super hard to speed run the divorce conversation.
Yeah.
Because I believe finding that you have to find the husband's toy receipt because he's been buying more toys,
Yes.
even though they already had a fight because you were purchased. You know, the little humanoid robot that chews through power more than a washing machine, apparently. That is the thing. They're like, hey, yeah, no, we're having an energy crisis because of the Chibi-Robos and because of the Giga-Robos.
And he buys a Chibi-Robo. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
contributing to global warming.
I what do you guys think of the dog? Because there's a whole subplot. Mike, did you start doing your military training to attack the dog?
A little bit. I mean, first of all, the dog weirds me out for that 1,000 yard stare.
Yeah.
But I also really appreciate like at the birthday party at the beginning when he pops up with like a wrapped bone and the dad is like, "Oh, that's neat. How'd you wrap that bone?" And like in many contexts, that would be feel like one of those like, "Oh, look what Santa brought you." Like I'm playing along with a thing. With this dude, I think the dog has showed up with a wrapped bone, and he's just like, "The heck." But yeah, and so I've done a little bit of the training, which is weird with the military being like eggs
Yeah, they're sentient eggs.
that are
Yes.
all from
Instead of little green army men, they're little orange eggs for some reason.
green eggs and man.
Grease. Here you go. Dun, dun, dun.
But and so I've done a little bit of that, and I appreciate that. Like all of them have the first time that you actually get the chance to talk to them, like they all have dialogue. It repeats a little bit, but it's surprisingly a large number of options.
Yeah, there's like 16 of them or something standing there.
There's 19 standing there, and there's probably before I accidentally triggered the next bit when I was just going around and trying to talk to all of them. I got there about 15 of them. Actually, no, I might have been closer to like 18 of them. And then of that, probably about 5 repeated stuff that I'd already heard. Like it was a lot of variety. And that's discounting that they are all just named after different cities in the US.
Did you think that was going to be the mini game? You said you didn't want to ruin the next bit. Is that what you think the mini game is today?
No, I wasn't sure.
Oh, okay.
But and so there was a chunk where I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with them, and because the first time you see them, you don't. It's just like, they look very weird, and then the next time around, it's like a cut scene. It's like, oh, this is entirely egg puns. I see what we're doing now, and so I've done a little bit of the training with them, and I have found. So basically, they have lost one of their ranks to the dog.
Yes.
So I've seen that cut scene, and I have found the dog tags.
Yes, Memphis's dog tags, the fallen soldier.
And I did the first training, which is the find the spy, and it's the shuffle. I think I got up to like the 7th or something.
That's good.
Like it keeps making you do them, and it's like I don't want to lose on purpose, but I also don't want to do more than I have to.
Are you telling me you could do it's for those who haven't played it, it's like the kind of cup and ball game where they put a ball under 3 cups and they shuffle them around. You got to guess which one the ball's under. That's essentially the gameplay mechanic. But Mike, I found it impossible after like 5.
I was somewhere between 5 and 7 that I had done, and that was my 3rd run through it, maybe.
Interesting.
For me, the minigame that was the hardest was the spaceship minigame, which if you haven't gotten to that, that's incredibly hard, and I could not find a good way to do it.
I'm on the run the handrail one now, and I had like one really good run that almost made it to the end, and now every time I just fall, and then I moved on.
Yeah. But what Lawson's referring to is that there are like unlockable vehicular missions, essentially. You can unlock a spaceship that has like a shooting mini game, or like you can unlock these hot rods, and that's where you play chicken. These 2 cars are like racing towards the cliff, and you have to brake as close as possible to, the edge, which I thought was really thrilling. The spaceship one Lawson's talking about is that you are flying like Star Wars A New Hope in the trench style, and all you're doing is timing when to fire the lasers. You don't even have to aim them. It's just a matter of when do you press that button. So it's like a 1-button Star Fox, but it's very difficult.
And it's so hard. It's so hard. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do here. But considering how many different mini games there are between this, the spaceship, the egg shuffle, the burger flipping, the game is chock full of little things to do.
Yeah.
And considering I think it's sort of analogous to how in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you have the Korok seeds, which are challenges littered all over the world that are pretty simple on the surface, but there's just so many of them that you can really like have a lot of fun with them. And I can look at Chibi-Robo and be like, wow, the people that made this game really liked working on this game because there's a lot of love where there doesn't need to be.
That is so well, something, Lawson? I see you. That was so well said. So I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed that all 3 of us are kind of vibing with this game. Any other joy pros of the game we haven't touched on? Something you guys think is really special?
I'm going to say I feel like it is more of a puzzle exploration game that is on platforms than a platforming game.
Yeah, we were discussing what the hell genre is this? It's puzzle, it's platforming, it's almost RPG. What would you consider it, Lawson?
Metroidvania.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's because there is platforming, there's combat for some reason. There's a bunch of side quests, and a big part of the game is going back to different areas after you've already gotten a new item, and then you need to go back through and see, oh, hey, I got the shovel. What can I do with the shovel? And that's the whole game. It's, okay, cool. I need to go here and get this thing, then go back and do this. And as you go on, you unlock shortcuts and fast travel and all kinds of stuff. It feels just like a Metroidvania.
There's something so satisfying every so often when like the situation where you're like, oh, I had to do that once and it was a pain, or this took a while, but at the end it's like, oh, and now I've done this and now I don't have to do that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, you're constantly getting experience points that translate into longer battery life. So you're able to accomplish more in a single day. It almost feels like growing up, kind of. You're like, oh, I'm getting more and more capable and I'm able to accomplish more. And I don't know, it's just super cool. So for me, one of the most fun things about this game are the sly and not so sly references to pop culture. So what I'm gonna do is a mini game minute. If you guys are down, you want to play?
Let's do it.
All right, this game is called And Robo Was His Name-O. The way it works is that I am going to show you a person, place, or thing from the game, and you need to tell me what it's a parody of. Okay?
Okay, I'm definitely gonna do well on this.
Okay. I say interrupt me if you know it, and I think that's okay, and then I'll read it for the rest for the listener.
All right.
Is that okay, Mike?
I would do the reverse of it's available as soon as you finish the question.
Yeah. I think it's like it's Jeopardy style. Like you have to wait for the person to finish.
Okay, that's a better listen. You know what? Mike is on your side, listener. He's making sure this is nice for you. He always does. Okay.
It's also easier for the edit.
Ah, that's the edit that's killing him inside. All right. First one, tell me the real life thing being parodied by the alarmist and hyperbolic reporting of faux news.
Fox News.
Fox News.
Okay, that was Lawson. By a hair. Okay. Next one, Mike.
I was going to take a stab that this is.
Wait, hold on. You want to guess before I show it?
I do want to guess because the anchor was like Brokejaw instead of Tom Brokaw.
Wow. Lawson, he gets a bonus point for that. I didn't even think about
Cool.
that.
I don't know
Woo!
enough about Fox News in order to like have an opinion on that.
Brokaw wasn't on Fox News, but he was on news.
So Mike got this on 2 levels. That's amazing. Is every reference on 2 levels? Maybe. Okay, how about this one? The prim and proper Princess Pitts.
Princess Peach.
Okay, there is another one I'll accept based on the Toy Story connection.
Oh, it's the
Bo Peep?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's totally Bo Peep. She's a facsimile for Bo Peep. Okay, next one. The tech conglomerate Citrussoft.
Microsoft and
Okay.
Apple.
And Apple, yeah.
Okay. I feel like Mike should be able to get the second one if you get the first one. I'm giving you both a point. You guys are doing great. Okay.
There we go.
Space Hunter Drake Redcrest.
Captain Falcon.
Or
I also think Buzz Lightyear.
I would agree. Okay, this is cool. This is getting a little harder now. The transformative kid eggplant. Get in there, Mike.
I mean, I was thinking Eggplant Wizard from Kid Icarus.
Yep. He transforms you into an eggplant when he sees you.
I've never played Kid Icarus, so I have no idea.
But there is another Nintendo game he's from. I didn't know this till I researched it. He was also from Wrecking Crew 98. I didn't know that.
I don't like that image. The one on the bottom, to be clear.
That one's for Mike. That's Captain N. You never escape it. Okay, 2 more. The Hoppy Amphibian Fred and Frida Frog. What are they references to?
Frogs.
Ooh, I've stumped them. Think candy. Think British candy.
I'm
Oh,
gonna be real.
Oh, I think Mike's got it.
Wait,
The only sweets I eat are chocolate because chocolate's just the superior flavor.
You mean like Cadbury?
you like a Freddo Frog?
Oh, Mike with the Freddo Frog.
Ah.
Oh. Did you Google it?
No, I think these are on Kat's list of things she wants people to bring her.
Oh, okay. Listener, hear that? Bring Kat some frickin' Freddo. All right, last one. So I'm gonna say that if Lawson gets both of them, he can have both points.
Okay.
Right? Good little tire, or potential tie. So last one, the sinister Mr. Prongs. Any guess what this is the reference to?
I don't know. I think it's the Hat Man from my dreams.
Oh boy. Oh, that's why he wants to record late. Mike, any idea?
I don't like how his nipples are like his eyeballs, but just smaller.
And the sinister Speedo. Mike, you win, but
Yeah,
you want to take a shot?
I have no idea on this.
This one is either a devil from Devil World reference. That's a Nintendo character, like the prongs or the horns, but like same speedo, same boots or whatever. Or poltergeist, because you summon him by interacting with the television. He comes out of the television. It's sort of like this.
I never have seen that man.
Yeah,
And you know what? I'm glad. I'm happy about that. I made good choices.
I presume on the other side of that is just something else he's fusion dancing with, like electricity.
Like, what was that a reference to?
Great question. Is that Dragon Ball that does that?
Okay. Or Steven Universe. Hey, leave in the comment if you know the joke that Mike just made. Well, so that Mike wins the game 6-4. But that was fun.
I'm also going to contend that the whole game is inspired by the Flaming Moe's episode of The Simpsons.
What?
Because there's a line in there, Simpsons tangent. Flaming Moe's is where Homer has a drink that he's basically invented as a cocktail that you set on fire that Moe steals.
Yeah, and gets great fame from it.
Yeah. And there's a bit where Marge is like, shouldn't you just be glad that, like a lot of people are happy about this? And he's like, oh, I'm the magic man from Fairyland because I'm making people happy. And then he's like, in case you didn't realize, I was being sarcastic. And Marge is like, well, duh. And I've had that line every time I got happiness, like Homer's little like bit, which actually he is dressed very close to that when he's saying that. I think he's in just in underwear when he says that.
Huh.
Was in my mind for a lot of this game every time I got happiness.
Well, Mr. Prongs is an interesting character because he is a secret character that you can only, if you only interact with if you're trying to 100% the game, but he is the antithesis of Chibi-Robo. He is warping around and causing misery and causing mischief, whereas Chibi-Robo is his polar opposite, sneaking around and just doing, random acts of kindness. So that's Mr. Prongs. So
does the game ever... I did see something because I was trying to figure out why things kept falling on me. And I did see that... Huh?
The bedpan.
Whatever they were.
Yeah. That's Mr. Prongs dropping them on you.
Is that an official thing? Because I saw it just said as like the developer says that, but I don't know if the game does that. Ever explain it?
I don't know. I never interacted with them.
Okay.
But I love though that two of us beat the game. One of us is 5 hours in, and we're all just like, it feels like a genuine mystery, and I feel like that adds to like the layers of like this house feels so lived in. And it feels like there's just a little history in every corner of it, and it's so fun to explore.
It's a weird, and I'll clarify what happens. Like every so often, when you are leaving a plug, they'll have something hit you, and you get told how many times that's happened. And there's a bit where I'm like, oh, is this like my indication of like, that's where I'm supposed to go next? But I don't think it is. I think it's the game just like annoying you a bit.
It's trolling you.
I mean, it can just do that sometimes. And somewhere you accept it because everything is just kind of mildly absurd. So this might as well happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good segue. Might as well happen. It's not a perfect game. What frustrates you about this game, Lawson?
Once I reached a certain point, I had no idea what to do next. And the game was not helpful in any way. And that felt like it was similar for a lot of the game. A lot of the plot lines that you can progress feel very arbitrary and yes, well, luckily I found the dog bone like that was in the kitchen, and then I gave it to a bird who told me to go screw myself, and then I was able to unlock this thing. And a lot of the game just sort of feels arbitrary in that way.
Yeah.
In a way that I wish was more authored, but I think it still overall works. It just is like, okay, cool. I felt bad that as a 30-year-old man, I needed to look up a guide for a video game from 2006.
I think you hit the nail on the head because I feel like this game, 2006, was like the sort of last gasp of the strategy guide era, where you would leave GameStop with your game and your big book, and it was going to tell you how to get through it. And they would design games to sell those books because it was this whole other revenue stream. So that's what this very much feels like, Moon Logic at times, because you're like, how would I have ever guessed that? So much of the game's thrill comes from parkouring your way higher and higher up to access more and more of each room. because you're doing things like hopping from shelf to shelf and you're climbing blinds and you're balancing precariously on spinning fans. But like when you look at the room, it doesn't really smack you as like, oh, this is a clear platforming environment. There's no floating platforms. It's all very practical. So the thrill of getting higher and higher feels authentic, but I didn't really trust the controls. I felt like it was for as many points as you are inching your way along this tiny ledge, you have like half of a foot and the slightest slip and you're falling. But then some falls didn't feel like my fault. It felt like the controls were not responsive enough. Would you agree, Lawson?
Oh yeah, it definitely could play a lot better. And there's also some systems that are in the game, and I just ask why. For example, why is there combat in Chibi-Robo?
I like the
Why does
combat.
Chibi-Robo have a gun?
I like it. I like it.
I know, but it's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
It's just stale and repetitive. Oh man, did you know 3 tiny enemies are gonna show up on screen? You're gonna go bop, 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 and then you're done? That's what happens. If there had been 2 things I could do in combat instead of just go bop, 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 I would be more interested. But instead, it's just, all right, cool, walk around, bop, 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 and you're fine. It's at most an inconvenience.
I liked it though because to me it's scratching the same itch as like scrubbing the floor. It's like the scrubbing is a satisfying motion, and it's like everyone loves to tap, 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 explosion, 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 pick up the little wrenchy things. All 3 of those are little endorphin hits for me. So I was never, I was never felt like I was supposed to feel like I was in danger until the last boss, which without spoiling it for Mike, it has a mechanic where it grabs you, and I don't know if there's any way to avoid it. And it felt very frustrating.
You can avoid it.
You put the
just
mug
have
over
to-
your head?
No, you just run away.
Okay. I was running as fast as I could. It caught me every time.
Yeah, it the fact that the ending of the game relies on combat, which is what I would say the game's weakest area.
Sure.
Because I do think you could have some fun combat. Like if you made this game today, I think you could have a lot of fun, and then you could also add more movement mechanics and stuff, and I think that could also be very good. I imagine a Chibi-Robo that has some of the movement options of Super Mario Odyssey, where you can do like a dive and then a glide and then a roll, and then you can, cross gaps, or, they made a platform where you can like use your plug as a whip and do cool stuff with that. Hey, that sounds great. And if you could implement all that in combat and exploration, that'd be super cool.
That would be dope.
But this is a game from 2006, and it is currently, like 20 years later. So it's a little unfair considering how far games have come just broadly.
Yeah. But I do think it felt very modern in the way of like, oh, we're going to give you a whole bunch of different gameplay styles. It felt almost like Red Dead Redemption-y, where it's like, oh, you really fleshed out this space.
I was gonna say, I actually don't mind the combat being sort of that simple because I viewed it more as just like a resource harvesting thing.
Yeah.
And for me, it also meant that like stuff like the controls didn't weigh that down because it was bad enough to try and do the bits of move around in a smaller platform and the camera is not cooperative.
Yeah.
But where I could take my time. Whereas if I had to do that rushed, I think it would be a bit more frustrating.
Okay.
This is also totally unrelated other than the fact that for us, we have been looking at Mr. Prongs for quite some time now. And he is beginning to look like Ed Bighead from Rocko's Modern Life to me.
Wow. Deep cut, but I respect it. I see it.
Just with the the plug and the prongs are very much like it, because it was reminding me of something. I think my brain's finally crystallized on that. That's what my brain was thinking about.
Been haunting you.
Yes.
Well, so perfect segue, I'd say. This game, I don't know. It's weirdly like kind of thirsty at times. All the toys are romantically pining for one another. But at one point, Television expresses distress that Jenny is falling for him, and she's freaking 8 years old. Like, that's weird, right?
I think the thing that you need to take away is that Telly is an absolute moron.
Okay, so he doesn't realize that's just a kid?
I mean, how old's Telly?
I think that Telly is the kind of person that's like, yeah, babes love me. And it's like, do they?
Right.
Like, oh, hey, I know that you think that you're popular, but what are you basing that on, Telly? Because something to note, listener, is that whenever anything good happens in the game, Telly is like, yay, and then pops off a couple party poppers, which then leave a mess for you to clean up.
I loved it.
It's hilarious. I do love that he does a little celebration, and then you have to clean up after him. I just think that Telly's an idiot.
Yeah.
Personally. And I think that's just like, yeah, it's the, oh yeah, all the ladies love me. Even the 8-year-old girl is fawning for me. And it's like, no,
still
she's not.
sounded creepy.
No. Yeah, because Telly sucks. Telly is a loser.
Oh, Telly.
Telly's whole thing is like, yeah, he's the Speedwagon to Chibi-Robo's JoJo.
Okay.
He's the Navi of the game.
Exactly. Most heinous thing is that you have this whole game revolve around tidying and cleaning up after yourself and making, or I guess not yourself, other people. But then you have a story event that permanently adds dead, dried petals to the floor, which you cannot clean. This itched. I did not like this. This felt wrong. Let me clean that dead flower. Dang it. That's the whole point of this game. I want the room to look nice. Am I insane, you guys?
You're not. However, I do think this is a point in favor of magic is real because the mummy canonically drains the life from anything he touches.
Wow.
Okay. He touches those flowers and they die instantly.
You're right. Yeah, you see that.
Magic is real. The girl was cursed with frog magic, and I don't know how or why because that's never explained.
That is an amazing sentence out of context.
Yeah, and I do like that. This game has a lot of mysteries that they just don't explain to you. And personally, I think that that's a very good thing. Mysteries existing in the world, like, let the audience fill in those gaps in a way that's really satisfying.
Yeah.
It's why some people still care about Harry Potter, because J.K. Rowling is such a bad writer. She didn't write an actual world. She sort of wrote like a stage for stuff to be on, and everything else going on completely up to her interpretation. Like, do wizards need to eat? We don't know. Does frog magic exist in Chibi-Robo? We don't know.
I feel like those books are well written, but I don't like saying that because you all know why. Okay. So anything else? Any other bones to pick with our little Chibo here? Any other Joy-Cons?
I wish there was a sprint button. Sometimes I just want to I could go. I know I need to go. Just let me go there faster.
I taught Mike to pick up the plug to move faster because that took me way too long.
Okay, but it's like a 5% increase.
I do like the extent that some of the stuff was that this did a lot of, we're not necessarily going to spell things out explicitly. We're going to make it clear, but in a way that I thought kind of flowed into the storytelling. So like early example, when you first see all the soldiers training in another room and you get shot at a lot and then have to get back out of there because like, well, I am not ready to deal with this.
Yeah.
But you see them doing like various training things. And one of them hiding in a mug to deflect shots.
Oh, it's teaching you if you pay attention.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to need that. And then later on, there's another mention about a cup. It's like, okay, I think it's, what's his name? Buzz Lightyear.
Drake Redcrest.
Makes a mention of like, oh yeah, I bet you want that mug. And it's like, okay, he's got a mug somewhere. I don't know how I get it yet, but it's like, I want that mug. And I enjoyed that where it didn't just go, hey, you'll need a mug to cross this room.
Yeah.
But it put all the pieces pretty clearly out there. Just go, oh yeah, this all flows. Now I need to find where the heck it is. And then, you find it and the wife's like, that's my husband's, take it. I don't want any of his stuff anymore.
And every little item interaction is micro storytelling, and it's just like this is neat.
Yeah, I mean it's things like you can feed you can throw away the trash and get happiness, but if you have the cookie crumbs,
yeah, you can feed the fish.
Yeah, and I think I did that just with like, oh, you can feed the fish, and I picked up cookie crumbs from somewhere else because I think there was a dialogue bit that mentions that.
Yeah,
but I had fed them first. And the fact that you get a lot of happiness for doing it once and then like no happiness after that.
Well, like Lawson said, it's teaching the little kids don't overfeed the fish.
Cookie crumbs are a sometimes food.
I just realized which game I wish this was. I wish it was Psychonauts.
Oh.
Well, because in Psychonauts, right, you do get various power-ups and you get various things, and then you can reuse them in different ways over time. You get the mug equipment, and then you use it just for that, and then you don't really use the mug ever again.
I see what you're saying.
I wish it was like Psychonauts where you had to reuse the mug in other situations to different effects.
Sold.
I was unhappy with I felt it was unclean, the reuse of the shovel/spoon.
What do you mean?
I had dug with that spoon,
Oh, and then you're making burgers.
and or lending it to the mom.
Oh, that's right. To like stir the Chibi-Robo, you gross monster.
Like I do appreciate where it's like to do all the cleaning, you're using the dad's toothbrush because
Yeah.
you found it sitting around. Actually, on the same sort of incentivizing, the fact that when you reach the Chibi-Robo manual in the game and you get happiness for each page you read.
Yes, and you can only read one a day or something.
I went through all of them in one go, but that like but you do as you read through them, you get happiness. So it's actually basically like, yeah, we have to tell you some junk. We are going to reward you for it because you should be doing this.
RTFM. There you go.
This game is very good about again rewarding the player for doing things. So you have a reason to go and engage with all the mechanics and explore. And I do really like that.
Yeah. So guys, I think that brings us to the moment of truth for today. We've covered the Joy Pros, the Joy Cons, and every bit in between. So it's time to declare today's game as a NintenDo or a NintenDON'T. Lawson, will you kick us off?
I think that the cons section tells you everything you need to know, which is even when we're supposed to criticize the game, we kept being like, man, I really loved this. We could not help ourselves but still be like, man, this was a really good thing. I just wish it was this.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to be playing old games, this game has a lot that's on the table and you should play it. And then you can compare it to other games and you'll be like, wow, this is a pretty good game.
Okay, so we should play it. So you're saying NintenDo.
Yes.
Do you want to add a little garnish? Want a Super Nintendo? Nintendo 64?
It's not in my top 10 of all time.
Okay.
I think it's a great game. I don't think it's in my top 10 of all time because overall just the issues and lack of signposting mean that it's, unless you look at a guide, I would bet you could not finish the game, or at least the average person could not finish the game without a guide.
Okay.
Jeremy, you've beaten the game as well. You know that ending.
Yes.
You know all those random steps. Yeah, there's no way like a regular person is going to think to do all of that in that order.
Lawson, I see you. Okay. And I agree with you. And I want you to know that I wrote out a 7-step solution to a puzzle. None of the steps make any sense. None of them are logical. That's how far removed it is from logic. So I agree. I don't think it's a Nintendo 64, but you are clear Nintendo. I want to know where Mike is before I give my placement.
So our previous episode with Majora's Mask, I basically had said that I enjoyed what that was doing with the storytelling parts, but I kept having all this like annoying platforming getting my way, or time management where it would just wipe the whole slate of what I had done, and it didn't really allow for chipping away at things.
Is this exactly the game you wished for last time?
This is basically it. I was going through this. I'm like, this is everything that all the things that annoyed me about that, where it's, I'm no longer, there's a time cycle that is necessary for the story flow, but I don't have this ticking clock. I get to spend more time with the story elements of it. I'm not being weighed down by as much platforming that was annoying me, or combat that I wasn't always thrilled with. And because it's kind of just the stories, at least as I've seen, just kind of move along to, you've done something, it'll move to the next point until you do the next point. You're not stuck in this, well, I have to do this on the second half of day 1 or else day 3 is in the wrong spot. And I don't know that. So it allowed this to flow for the more on it's the puzzling and the exploring that's going on and the narrative without the bits that I didn't like. So it's definitely a Nintendo for me, which is why I played like a couple hours of it. I set out to play like 2 hours of it and played 4.5.
Yeah.
And expect to go back because it moves along this pace that allows me to even if I'm not getting something immediately, I feel like I'm still able to sort of grind away in progression and then have something click and go, oh, that's what I need to do. Now I'm on to the next bit.
That's awesome. Well, it's a sweep. I mean, this is a Super Nintendo for me. I just feel like this game is very underrated. I think it
Mhm.
is Animal Crossing, but better. I don't know. I think it's kind of Majora's Mask, but better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Derek and Riri. But listen, we're gonna have this out in the Discord. We're gonna have to vote on this bad boy. But here's the rule, though.
Mhm.
You gotta try Chibi-Robo. You can't just vote for Zelda. Okay? I'm thinking about a few of our listeners in particular who are diehard loyalists.
Zelda's really good, but sometimes the new thing can also be good.
There we go. There we go.
And I think it's also fascinating because if you look up at people talking about this game that were trying this, say, a year ago, I think at some point this game cost like $200.
Yeah, on GameCube.
If you want to get a legitimate copy, hard copy, then yes, you will need to pay $200 minimum because this game was not a huge commercial success, which is why the last game in the series came out, and I believe 2015.
Okay, listen, Nintendo. I need you to lean in, Nintendo. You guys buzz off for a second. I gotta talk to just Nintendo. I'm gonna give you such a good. No, don't leave, Lawson. Don't leave. Am I crazy, or should Nintendo Classics have an online feature where when you boot up a game, it tells you the cost of the retro game? So you know, like I'm playing a $280 game right now. This is cool, and I didn't pay anything except for a monthly subscription, right? And wouldn't that be interesting for discussion? Because like when a game goes up in value, you could be like, "Oh, try it. I want to try the most expensive, rarest games." Am I onto something?
I think that that's a very good marketing pitch
Okay.
because then you could say, oh, hey, if you wanted to buy a hard copy of every game in this catalog, it would cost you blank $1,000,
Exactly.
but you can get it for blank.
Yeah, it's like $30 a year. Like,
Actually, this reminds me of an interesting bit when you get into these price things in the manual, because I don't think I had seen this before in a manual. This game's manual has a specific page full of Nintendo explaining that backup or archive copies are not legitimate things to make,
oh wow.
which is specifically the explanation many people have with emulations, and where it's like, I have this, I own the physical game, but this is allowing me to continue to play it. And Nintendo had a whole bit specifically addressing that. I'm like, I have never seen any of them address, you're not allowed to make a copy for your own use. That's not how this works.
Wow. And you think that contributed to the game's rareness?
I don't think it contributed to the game's rareness, but it is interesting because that is where you're kind of left to now.
Oh
Up
yes.
until this is, what were your options? It was either buy a $200 20-year-old game
Yeah.
or a non-legal copy of the game.
Yeah.
And really, I think this is why they should expand this service, is you have games like this where it's just like, at that price, someone to check this out required either a lot of money or the sorts of actions that Nintendo doesn't want anyone doing.
Yeah. 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 We're such shills. Listen to us.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
I don't think it's being a shill to say, if you would like people to not pirate your games, make them available at a low cost, and many people will be happy with that.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want people to not pirate, you have to at least give them the alternative of getting it legally.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like with Netflix and streaming services. Hey, pirating went way, way down when Netflix was like $8 a month because they could go and watch whatever they wanted for $8 a month. Now, where every streaming service costs $25 a month and everyone's catalog changes every 3 Tuesdays, like, yeah, people are going back to pirating because trying to find stuff is hard.
Yeah.
Make it easy, and then capitalism will take care of the rest. They'll just use the easier option.
And it's a good example of them taking a game that this was not exactly the one that the people were clamoring for.
Yeah.
Like some of the other games, to my understanding, a lot of people like Wind Waker.
Yes.
So that showing up is like, yeah, people were like, please give us that. This is a good example of, this is a game that deserves a shot, and there wasn't really you'd have to be kind of going in blind for $200.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous expectation.
Yep.
And part of why this game was so rare, I think, to begin with, was because it's very hard to sell children on the idea of, all right, cool, there's this game and you play as a robot and you do chores.
And you clean up and you scrub and you're nice to your mom.
Yeah, and you do all this cool stuff and you help out the family.
I like it.
Yeah, I that doesn't really, I don't think that's gonna sell to a 7-year-old.
Yeah, that's a long road to hoe. So I think, guys, with that, we're going to call it game over for today. The final score for Chibi-Robo Plug Into Adventure is a resounding Nintendo. Lawson, thank you for welcoming Mike onto your show and earning those happy points with us here tonight. Before we go, why don't you remind our listeners where they can find a Super Wall Jump and anything else you'd like to plug?
Hi, you can find my podcast at Super Wall Jump basically everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, etc. And you know what else you can do? By the time this episode comes out, will have started another YouTube channel called Two Story Entertainment with my wife. And we are going to be making a movie at some point in 2026. So check it out, follow along, and help us make our filmmaking dreams come true, maybe. Or at the very least, see if the comedy sketches and stuff we're going to post tickle your fancy. But yeah, Super Wall Jump for gaming stuff, Two Story Entertainment for like cool narrative stuff, and otherwise tell people to hire me to be in their movie, TV show, or podcast.
Awesome.
I need money to live.
He needs the money to live, guys. He's got to get some sandwiches. So we will leave his information in the show notes, right, Mike?
Yes.
And personally, I think that all sounded excellent. Everyone join us next time. We'll be tackling one of the most celebrated retro sports games ever made, Tecmo Bowl for the NES. Also, don't forget to visit www.theoldswitcharoo.com. There you can find links to our Spotify, our Discord, YouTube, TikTok, and all the social medias you can shake a joystick at. Big thanks to Crystal Fields for our incredible intro song. And please, dear listener, don't forget to like and subscribe. Every click means a lot, and you mean a lot to us. Until next time, this has been the Old Switcharoo, where we've been talking gaming retro with Mike and Jaymo.
I've been Mike.
And I've been Jaymo. Game on, everyone.
And I've been Lawson.
And he's been Lawson. And we'll all game on.
I should have asked it at the top, but I didn't think about it because I was too busy talking about the giraffe.
Yes.
And viewer, if they make a TikTok about this, it's right here. It's 6 feet tall. There's also a weird funky lamp next to it. It's great.
Can you say that a little breathier so we can
hey guys, check out my cool 6 foot tall giraffe.
Hey, he's talking about an actual lamp, everyone. Relax.
I like it. It's like, what if NPR did porn?
Okay, Mike, this can't be the post-credit scene.